Hey there, welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're driving an electric vehicle, chances are you've stared at your wheels recently and asked yourself a very expensive question. Where on earth did all my tread go? Today, I am going to save you money and keep you safe by solving the absolute mystery of rapid EV tire wear. We're going to look closely at the data to find out exactly why your tires are vanishing, which ones are literally unsafe for your car, and how to pick the absolute best replacements.
Here's our roadmap for today. 1. Why Teslas destroy tires. 2. 3 brands to avoid. 3. The golden maintenance rules. 4. The best tires for your specific needs. And 5. The acoustic foam myth. Let's get right into it.
All right, part 1, why Teslas destroy tires. If you're completely frustrated by how quickly your factory tires are degrading, take a breath. You aren't doing anything wrong. But we really got to ask this provocative question. Why are your EV tires already completely bald after just 15 or 20,000 miles? To understand this, it all comes down to the physics of electric vehicles compared to traditional gas cars. Think about a standard gas car, like a Toyota RAV4, and put it right up against a Tesla Model Y. In that RAV4, when you hit the accelerator, the engine takes a moment to rev up, the transmission shifts, and power kind of gradually makes its way to the wheels. But in a Model Y, boom, instant torque. The absolute microsecond you press that pedal, the full force of those electric motors slams right into the tire's contact patch. It hits the pavement before the rubber compound even has a chance to react. And then, of course, there's the weight. 800. That is exactly how many pounds heavier a Model Y is than a standard RAV4. A Model Y comes in at close to 4,400 pounds. That immense stress, the combination of a 2-ton vehicle and instant electric torque, means that budget tires, or tires that just weren't engineered for this exact scenario, simply cannot handle the sheer physical force being demanded of them. Moving on to section 2. 3 brands to avoid. Putting the wrong tire on a heavy EV isn't just a waste of money, it can actually put your family in danger. The first brand to avoid is the Michelin Primacy MXM4. This was the factory tire for the Model 3, Model S, and older Model Ys for years, and it brilliantly illustrates the massive problem with factory tires. They carry absolutely zero mileage warranty from Tesla. Owners are pulling these off their cars at just 15,000 miles completely bald. But the wear isn't even the worst part. The acoustic foam glued to the inside of this tire has a terrible habit of just peeling off. When that happens, the foam detaches, completely throws off the balance, and causes a violent shaking at highway speeds that many drivers actually mistake for a massive suspension failure. The second category you need to steer clear of are budget Chinese brands. Think Westlake, Linglong, or really whatever generic brand your local tire shop pushes because it's cheap. Take a look at this quote from a Model 3 owner who bought a used car with these installed. Felt sketchy every time it rained. And honestly, he hit the nail on the head. Budget rubber compounds were never designed for a 4,400-pound EV. The wet traction on these cheap tires just isn't in the same universe as premium brands. On a super heavy car with zero spare tire in the trunk, excellent wet traction is simply not optional. The third tire to avoid is an expensive tire doing a cheap tire's job, the Pirelli P0 PZ4. This is the factory tire for the performance models. Just look at that brutally low 280 treadwear rating. To put that in perspective, a standard all-season tire usually sits between 400 and 600. Pirelli designed this thing to grip, not to last. And because performance models use a staggered setup, meaning the front and rear tires are actually different sizes, you can't even rotate them. The rears just sit back there absorbing all that acceleration, and owners are replacing them every 5,000 miles. You could literally spend $3,000 in rear tires alone before you even finish paying off your car loan. No way. Which brings us to section 3, the golden maintenance rules. Okay, here's a crucial plot twist for you. Even the absolute best tire won't survive without strict owner discipline. Teslas eat rear tires 2 to 3 times faster than front tires. Why? Because regenerative braking sends all of that stopping force straight through the rear axle. If you aren't rotating your tires every 5,000 to 6,000 miles, and if you aren't maintaining 42 to 45 psi cold tire pressure, no tire brand is going to save you. These 2 habits are the ultimate, non-negotiable secret to doubling your tire life. All right, let's get into the buyer's guide. Section 4, best tires for your needs. Now that you know exactly what to avoid, I've broken down the best options on the market into a matrix based on your actual priorities.
Whether your main goal is getting the absolute best battery range, surviving severe weather, stretching the tire's lifespan to the max, or just having a blast taking corners, there is a specific tire engineered for your exact lifestyle. Let's dig into the data behind these top picks. If efficiency is your goal, you want the Hankook Ion Evo all season. Remember how Tesla dropped Michelin? Yeah, they moved to Hankook for the new Model 3 refresh, and you should definitely pay attention to that. Look at this number, 18%. In controlled tests, this tire delivered an 18% efficiency gain over the stock Pirellis. It only weighs 23 pounds, making it the lightest in its class. Less weight means less wasted energy, which brings real range right back to your battery on every single drive. That is a real game changer. Now, if we look at warranties, here is how the heavy hitters stack up. The Continental Extreme Contact WS06 Plus is a massive fan favorite, offering a great 50,000-mile warranty. It's just a fantastic all-rounder. But if you deal with serious snow, the Michelin CrossClimate 2 gives you a 60,000-mile warranty with a severe snow rating. And then there's the Nokian One, completely towering over the rest with a staggering 80,000-mile warranty. But what if you want great winter performance without losing your battery range? Enter the absolute sleeper of the entire list, the Vista Quatrac Pro. This is a European secret weapon. It's an incredible Dutch tire that handles brutal winters flawlessly, easily beating the factory Continentals. And the best part? It only suffers a 1 to 2% efficiency loss. That is the lowest range penalty for a non-EV specific tire out there. Going back to durability for a second, if you want a tire you can just install and completely forget about, you want that Nokian One. Why? Nokian actually reinforces their sidewalls with aramid fibers. As one owner put it, that's the same stuff they use in body armor. And remember, your car doesn't have a spare tire, so having that extreme puncture resistance pays for itself the very first time you hit a pothole at 70 miles per hour. I do need to give you a quick warning, though, about tires marketed specifically for EVs. Check out this comparison. The Bridgestone Turanza EV versus the standard Turanza Quatrac. The EV version only gives you a 50,000-mile warranty, while the cheaper, non-EV version gives you an 80,000-mile warranty. Let that sink in. Sometimes slapping EV on a tire label just means you are paying a premium for fewer guaranteed miles. Don't fall for the marketing hype. Always check the treadwear warranty. Finally, let's jump to Section 5, the Acoustic Foam Myth. I really want to relieve you of this false belief that you absolutely must buy tires with foam inserts. A lot of tire shops will push them very hard for Teslas, warning you that the cabin is going to be unbearably loud without them. But when we actually look at real-world testing that pits foam tires against standard tires, we see that it's mostly a marketing gimmick designed to upcharge you. So what's the actual measured difference in road noise? 1 decibel, literally 1. That is a difference the human ear cannot even physically perceive. Owners who swap from foam to non-foam tires regularly report 0 noticeable difference in the cabin. So honestly, ignore the foam. Pick the right tire based on treadwear, wet traction, and your own driving style, and forget the foam even exists. All right, so by avoiding the bad brands, sticking to strict rotation schedules, and picking the right rubber for your commute, you've just solved one of the biggest maintenance costs of owning an EV. But what about the other massive expense sitting right under the floorboards? Tires are fixed, but what are the 6 alarming signs your Tesla battery might be dying? That is a fascinating topic and exactly what we will be diving into on our next explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you then.